Time is winding down on the 90th legislative session, and the House stayed busy this week, passing a number of bills off the House floor. On Tuesday, House File 390, the so-called protester bill, was passed by the House by a 71 to 55 vote. Representative Nick Zerwas sponsors the bill that would increase the penalty from a misdemeanor to a gross misdemeanor for someone who intentionally interferes with or obstructs traffic exiting, entering, or on a freeway or public roadway within the boundaries of a major airport. A week before, the House debated this measure as part of the Omnibus Public Safety and Security Finance Bill. Once again, supporters noted the bill would not take away any constitutional rights to protest and that it is already illegal to protest on a freeway. Opponents contended again, in part, that the bill's goal is to chill free speech by silencing people who want to raise concerns of injustice, including those related to race.
That's what we're talking about today. Activity that is already against the law.
I don't want you to think of nonviolence as just people who are quiet. That's not how movements work. Movements work to disrupt the status quo for folks who have no buy-in so far to make sure things change.
When Governor Mark Dayton was asked to share his thoughts on House File 390, he was critical of the reasoning behind the proposal.
I mean, talk about a non-problem, which is just, again, appealing to their political base. Why don't they do something about health care? Why don't they make health care affordable? Why don't they provide the schools with emergency assistance? Why don't they do the things that people in Minnesota need them to do? I haven't seen a protest out there for over a year, or for almost a year. So, so what are they doing out there? They're dealing with issues that are playing to their base and playing to their politics and playing to their re-elections rather than serving the needs of the people of Minnesota.
Also on Tuesday, the Conference Committee on Senate File 3656, the massive omnibus supplemental budget bill, began the work of hammering out the differences between the House and Senate's proposals. Senate File 3656 is a culmination of a number of omnibus proposals, including state government, transportation, health and human services, job growth and energy affordability, judiciary and public safety, higher education, environment and natural resources, agriculture and rural development, and E12 education. Governor Mark Dayton held a press briefing earlier in the week, urging Republicans to expand health care choices for Minnesotans before session comes to an end. Dayton encouraged legislators to pass a Minnesota Care buy-in, which he says would increase access to affordable health care for Minnesotans.
Republicans here in St. Paul and Washington have been vamping on the Affordable Care Act and the rising costs of health care coverage for Minnesotans, and they're right, the costs have gone up. But here's a chance to do something about it. And they're not only not going to enact it, they're going to try to pass legislation that would prohibit future legislators from coming to their senses and giving Minnesotans the option through a Minnesota Care buy-in to obtain health insurance coverage as much as 28% below the current market prices.
Republicans have said that this proposal is a non-starter in Hertz rural hospitals. Chair of the House Health and Human Services Finance Committee, Matt Dean, responded to the governor's remarks later that morning.
The governor has proposed opening up Minnesota Care for everybody else, or what was proposed by President Obama as a public option. It was not popular then. It's not going anywhere now in this session, and with just a few days to go here in the session, we believe that we should be focused on the solutions that actually will bring better care to more Minnesotans, to bring down the cost of care, to make insurance more affordable, and to bring care to where people need it across the state of Minnesota.
On Thursday, a joint convention of the House and Senate elected a new regent for the University of Minnesota. Randy Simonson was chosen to fill the open 1st Congressional District seat on the University of Minnesota Board of Regents. Simonson received 104 of 191 votes and will immediately occupy the spot vacated by Regent Patricia Simmons, who resigned in March, until the end of her term in 2021. The constitutionally mandated end of session is right around the corner, so to keep up to date with everything that's happening at the legislature, read our nonpartisan coverage on the House website, www.house.mn/sessiondaily.